Okay, in this video, we're gonna go over skill number 12 in this chapter, in which we're gonna use the function IFS, which can compare multiple arguments to present or to result with some specific values that we control. An example of that is in this Excel file here. So we have this inventory numbers and we have the values of the orders. We have how many we received out of those numbers. We have the invoice, if it's been produced or not. We have the case of this order, if it's closed or not, and if it's open. Okay, now what we want to do, we want to create a specific column under H with a status, and the status is going to take three different values. One is order closed, the second value order short, and the third value invoice due. And those values are gonna be taken based on the conditions. So order closed when F2 is true. So let's look at this. F2, if the value is, let's say, the third row. If order was a close, that means we had what we ordered, in our case 25 of that specific item. We received the 25. So all the items were received and we had an invoice, yes. So the value is true. Accordingly, that value over here, which means it is gonna be true. Order close. So you will see at that specific item here, the value should appear order closed. The second argument is if D2 less than C2, in our case here, look at the received and the order. Is the value, let's look at the row number 2. Yes, the value received, we only received 12 items out of the 25 we ordered. So the value here should be order short and will meet this argument. The third value that's gonna take place if we if the E2, okay, E2 and this value E2 or whatever here in the E column, if the value is no, like we meet this criteria in row number 4, if the value, if the invoice wasn't written, so the value is no, then we have to really make invoice due. So we have to write the invoice due. So we didn't get the payment for that specific invoice. So accordingly, the values of column H will populate based on those three different conditions. The one that meet is going to be populated, and they are based on that specific value we have here. So let us see the simulation. You will get better understanding how you can configure the IFS function.
To create a formula using IFS, on the Formulas tab in the Function Library group, click the Logical button and select IFS. In the Logical Test 1 argument box, enter the first condition for which you want to test. In the Value If True 1 argument box, enter the text string or value that will be displayed or the formula that will be calculated if the Logical Test 1 argument is true. In the Logical Test 2 argument box, enter the condition to evaluate if the Logical Test 1 argument is false. In the Value If True 2 argument box, enter the text string or value that will be displayed or the formula that will be calculated if the Logical Test 2 argument is true. Continue adding Logical Test and Value If True arguments until you have covered all the conditions for which you want to test. Click OK to complete the formula.
Okay,